Hello everyone! Today we are searching for super weapons once again. If last time I used Magnet, today we'll create a super zomboid. For those who don't know, this is a soy zombie that is grown by the soybean pod plant. I'll be creating a zomboid, not a zomboid Gargantua, so now you can press like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll get started. First of all, we will simply release the most common zomboid from the first level pod against the same common base zombie from the Jurassic Swamp location. Although the pod has 10 levels, the zomboids have only 3 levels, but the characteristics change a bit and they also have 3 different visual appearances, so we will see. In the meantime, our zomboid copes with the enemy. Accordingly, just like in the Magnet video, we will summon more and more tough zombie opponents. Now it's the turn of the zombie with the cone on his head. Obviously, one zomboid in its basic form can't handle a cone, but if the pod were, say, level 3, the zomboid would look exactly the same as it does now, but it would have higher stats and probably eat a cone head. But now we are testing the weakest soy zombie and it's expected to lose. Just for fun, let's see if the cone can handle the second one. No, 2 zombies cope with cone. We begin to strengthen our fighters. Here is what I was talking about. If the zomboid is created by a pod improved to level 4 up to 7, then the zomboid itself gets a cone-shaped outfit, only made of carrots. And already such zomboid coped without difficulty alone with his cone-headed twin, so we need a stronger opponent again. As you have all guessed, it will be a zombie with a bucket head dress. I return to the Jurassic again, and instead of a bucket here, the subject has a block of stone. And it must be said that it saves its host from our slightly reinforced zomboid. As in the case of the cone head, 2 zomboids were enough for this guy. But we are not interested in 2, so let's move on to the second stage of soybean zombie upgrading. For this we need a level 8 pod, and it produces zombie with an analog of a bucket, only this time a bucket made of watermelon. Well, we watched the battle of the armored opponents, and we can see that despite the damage to the watermelon, the zomboids remain the winner. And then I'll improve both the zomboid and the opponent at once. Here we should note a very important thing. Enhancing zomboid with magic mint, zomboid visually doesn't change, but its level is increased to the 3rd. That is, we get watermelon headed zomboid 3rd level. He is much stronger than the usual watermelon headed zomboid. The enemy is also stronger. This zombie with the skull on his head is like a bucket head and a half, but we have a mean zomboid, so the skull doesn't save the enemy. You can even notice that the watermelon took even less damage than in the last battle, so we need to reinforce the enemy again. The mint is here, the zomboid 2, and the fight is against the amber-headed zombie, which belongs to the list of the strongest basic zombies in the game. It has as much health as the pyramid-headed and other similar tanks. However, even the Amber Shell doesn't give him a chance to survive in battle with our Soy Terminator. Now we have a really serious opponent waiting for us, Jurassic Rock Puncher. He is stronger than all the previous zombies and his attack is much more dangerous because he is not waiting and immediately hits with stone boulders and hits very hard. But Zomboid managed to withstand the first blow, and the second was fatal, and the Rock Puncher didn't get a lot of damage. Well, it's time to upgrade the pod to the maximum, to level 10, and here I have to clarify something. By boosting the pod to level 10, zomboids will now be created at level 3, accordingly I believe that these zomboids should be the same as from a level 8 pod, but under mint enhancement, and at level 10 pod, mint should not amplify his zomboids at all. But in any case, now we have a zomboid without mint, and we see that for some reason it managed to pull off the bully's arm. Maybe just a coincidence that the character's hitbox clash happened a little earlier than in the previous battle and he had time to bite one more time. Okay, I've probably got you all confused by now, so let's move on to the next battle. I would test the zomboid from level 10 pod reinforced with mint, if the calculations are wrong. No, zomboid tore bully's arm again, but no more, so we don't need mint anymore. But how do we strengthen the soy soldier? Those who have played PvZ for a long time probably guess that potions must be here. There are 2 types of potions, one increases the amount of HP and the other increases speed. Both visually increase the zomboid's size. For now we will give our fearless warrior a strength boosting potion. The size of the opponents is slightly equalized. Will it be enough to defeat the bully? No, Jurassic Zombie has won again. It was time to speed up. The soy zombie eating the steroid treats and rushes into battle at the speed of light. Drumroll. It's win. The acceleration helped the zombie gobble up the bully. And we have already created a very strong zomboid, but that's not the limit. We will leave the zomboid in the same configuration, but the zombie is followed by Gargantua. For some reason I chose the Marion this time. I remind you that he is identical to the tutorial in terms of characteristics. And you know what? My surprise was boundless when I found that our zomboid could handle Gargantua as well. Literally a fraction of a second wasn't enough for the giant to land a second hit on the watermelon armor and win the battle, but winners are not judged. Now we need to call Gargantua a bigger one, and it is the Roman Gladiator. We collect potions again and go into battle with the more durable Gog. The Roman Gladiator had enough health to strike a second blow, which becomes fatal for our zomboid. Now we have no choice but to strengthen the soy zombie further. So, we will give him twice as many potions. If you didn't know that the effects of the 4 potions will be summed up, I'll tell you that the 6 portions are summed up too, but further we can't enhance the zomboid with potions. Zomboid becomes really big, approaches the enemy, enters the battle, but unfortunately loses, and now we'll have to get him drunk with our entire supply of magic brew. As many as 6 vessels with enhancing elixirs stand before the soy deadman. After drinking them all, he becomes almost as tall as Gargantua, and an epic battle begins. One blow has already been struck, but it hasn't come to the second. We have created a super zombie capable of single-handedly killing the toughest Gargantua. I checked the same version of the zomboid against the Yeti, but here you could immediately guess that despite the greater health reserve than Gargantua, Yeti is not a threat, because it's not able to quickly take away the same amount of HP as Gargantua with his club. It remains to check this zomboid on the generals, on a Z-Mag for example. However, there was also an element of predictability, because all zombies that approach a Z-Mag, they all burn out instantly, which is what happened to our fighter. It's a shame, but it can't be helped. Even the soy Gargantua was unable to counteract this defense of Z-Mag, and was also burnt in an instant. Other generals, such as Caesar, also destroy approaching enemies instantly. Of course, I couldn't end the video on such a loser note, so as a bonus I decided to test the super zomboids on Zomboss. The purity of the experiment is a mess here, but I still got to see what a couple of my mutants could do to the circus Zomboss. They ended up taking 66% of his health. The magnifying grass, for example, with its ult and the whole field of sunflowers, was able to take away a little less HP from the same Zomboss. But it's certainly not the most fair comparison, although it's cool. Maybe in the future I'll make a separate video which will compare different maximally boosted weapons against Zomboss, the Super P for example, and something else will come up. So I'm gonna end my video for today. Press like button if you like my content, click the bell, subscribe to the channel, and bye everyone!